Romans 16, 1-2 is a gold mine of information about the world around Paul, and it never appears at all in the lectionary. It's about an otherwise unknown woman named Phoebe, whose name means radiant. She has a feast day in both the Eastern and Western Church on September 3rd, though it's October 25th in the Lutheran Church. But good old Pope Gregory the Great, remember him? The one who started the rumor that Mary Magdalene was a prostitute? Got his feast moved from March 12th to, guess when, September 3rd, the anniversary of his election, thus displacing Phoebe, because a pope is always more important. The Roman Martyrology, the official Catholic List of Saints 2004 edition, calls her Ancilla Domini, handmaid of the Lord, among the faithful of Kencray, one of the seaports of Corinth where she lived. But she's a lot more than a handmaid. Let's hear what Paul has to say about her. I commend to you Phoebe, our sister, diakonos of the Church of Kencray, so that you will receive her in the Lord in a manner worthy of the holy ones, and a sister in whatever way she may ask you, because she has been a prostatis of many, and of me too. Let's unpack that. I didn't translate 2 words Paul uses of her, and you'll see why. Paul is introducing Phoebe to people who don't know her, the Christian believers in Rome. Actually, he doesn't know most of them either, but they know at least his reputation. Now he's asking for reciprocity. She has done so much for other members of this wider community, so would you please do the same thing for her? He calls her our sister, meaning a believer in Christ, a member of the Christian community. The second thing Paul calls Phoebe is diakonos. Here are 3 alternative attempts at translation: servant, deacon or minister, or the office of deaconess, which didn't exist yet. This word carried connotations of both service and agency or representation. Minister is okay, because it connotes both service and authority at the same time. An important comparison here is with Philippians 1:1, where Paul greets the holy ones in Philippi with their episkopoi and diakonoi. Never mind the episkopoi for now. But here's another example of people in a local community with the same title, diakonos, this time plural. Whatever those diakonoi did in Philippi, Phoebe did in Kencray. What about Stephen and his 6 friends in Acts chapter 6? In spite of traditional interpretation of this scene as origin of the diaconate, in fact, none of them are ever called deacons. Let's enjoy the irony that the only person in the New Testament who by name is called a deacon of a local church is a woman. When a passage is excluded from the lectionary, you hope the editors just thought it wasn't important. Maybe this time, though, there was more to it. The third thing Paul says about Phoebe is that she is prostatis to many, including himself. Prostatis. Translation alternatives that you will see are helper or benefactor patron. Helper in a subordinate sense is just plain wrong. She's not Paul's assistant, but his benefactor or patron. The society was a big patronage system, so it's not what you know, but whom you know. So having the right person when you're new in town was crucial. Many megabytes have been expended, we used to say much ink spilled, on this word prostatis. Luckily, we know about a contemporary of Phoebe right there in Corinth, Junia Theodora, not a Christian, whose grateful clients left commemorative inscriptions that said she did the same thing for them. She was an immigrant who made it big. She came from Lycia in western Turkey and became the key person for others from her home region who came to Corinth. She provided hospitality and social connections for them, introductions to the right people. We can suppose something of the same for Phoebe with regard to Christians in Corinth, including Paul. But now Phoebe is going to Rome on her own business. We don't know any details about it. giving Paul the opportunity to write to the believers there. She's therefore the probable reader and interpreter of his letter when she gets to Rome and delivers it. There aren't many statues of Phoebe, but there is one in St. Austin Church, Austin, Texas, by artist Mark Carroll. I haven't been there, but you can see that Phoebe is holding the scroll of Paul's letter in her left hand, with her right hand in the gesture of speaking. Another silenced woman in the lectionary, not so silent in her own context. A woman of influence, minister, deacon, and sponsor of one of the earliest churches. What do we make of Phoebe? We remember her and we honor her as our sister. Phoebe was a woman who used her social status and power for the good of others and for the spread of the gospel. We remember her even though she was thought not important enough, or perhaps too important, to be included in the lectionary. Perhaps we could reflect on how we use whatever social power we have to influence, to provide resources, to call out injustice, to come to the aid of the needy, to further the proclamation of the good news. If we do that, Phoebe will be proud to have us as her successors.